In today's video, we're going to talk about how to turn 2020 around. 5 steps to turning this year around. I'm Sarena Hess and we're going to jump in right now. So the first step to turning 2020 around is to release what you thought it was going to be. It sucks when we're disappointed. It sucks when things don't go the way that we planned. And I know that in January, when I was envisioning my goals and mapping out for what I thought 2020 would be, it did not look like this. And I know that's the same for you. So I heard the analogy that we are all on a sea in different boats. So the storm that's happening around us, the storm of what has happened in 2020 is affecting all of us because we're all in the water and we're all in boats. However, some of us may have lost a job. Some of us may have actually gotten sick or known someone who has gotten sick. Some of us may have been experiencing financial hardship. All of us in some way are affected. The first step is acknowledging, okay, what we envisioned for this to look like might not happen, and that's okay. So being able to let go of the expectations that we had, the hopes that we had, and taking in where we're at and readjusting. There's tons of things that got canceled because of this year. To accept that that happened, to take it in, to process and feel your emotions. If you pretend like you're fine, if you pretend like this doesn't affect you, you're lying to yourself and you're not being honest with your actual emotions. Mourn what you have lost, or mourn the expectations of what you thought this year would look like. The second step to turning 2020 around is this: refuse to talk poorly about 2020. Change your mindset about the year. I know you've seen the memes happening about how things can't get any worse, or just all of these really terrible things about 2020. But here's the deal. This is the only time that you have. Right now, right here, this year, this is all you have. So if you believe that, yeah, this year sucks, or this year's just not going to be my year, or oh my gosh, this year is the worst. If you believe those things and you're actually physically saying these things and bringing them into existence, the hope that you have for this year to be a good year for you is not very good, because you're constantly speaking like, oh yeah, this year sucks, 2020 is the worst year ever. If you keep saying these things, your words are powerful and your brain starts to believe it. If you want me to do a video on the power of your words and what you actually believe, I would love to do that. Just comment below and let me know. But your words have power. So the second step to turning 2020 around is refuse to talk poorly about this year. Yes, it's different than what we envisioned. It's different than how we thought this year would go. There's a great story of the motivational speaker Zig Ziglar where he overheard someone complaining about the day, saying it was so hot, it wasn't a good day, and Zig Ziglar said he was offended by this person because that's his day. That's the only day that he has. That day is also his day. So he doesn't want to hear someone else talking poorly about his day because that's all he's got. And that's true for you and I with 2020. I don't want to bring any more negativity into this year than it already has, because this is the only year I have. There's no guarantee that I'm gonna make it to 2021. Of course, I would love to, but there's absolutely no guarantee. So from this point on, I challenge you to refuse to bring any more negativity into 2020. It does not look like what we thought it would, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. There can be good things that come from it. This year is not all bad. So the second step to turning your 2020 around is to change your mindset and to refuse to talk poorly of this year. The third step to turning 2020 around for you is to radically accept how things are. So I got this idea from an episode on the Go Off Sis podcast, and one of the podcast hosts was talking about how she met with her therapist, and her therapist challenged her to radically accept life as it is in 2020. The therapist mentioned that the more we try to go against or butt heads against what is happening, and the more we try to desperately cling to normal, the worse we're going to be emotionally. So the idea of radically accepting how our world is right now is to look at what's going on and to ask ourselves, how can I make this situation better? If I have to have a drive-by birthday party, how can I make it unique and fun? If my gym closes down again for the second time, how can I do creative ways to get exercise at home? Instead of constantly fighting against the rules or what's happening or the things that we have to do at the grocery grocery store, try radically accepting what is going on. I took the time to write down a few ideas of what it means to radically accept what is going on for me. Maybe calling people more, being really intentional with scheduling Zoom calls, sitting in the season, not trying to run away from what's happening, just really sitting in this season and asking, like, what can I learn from this season of stillness? What can I learn right now where I'm at home? Maybe going in my cocoon to create more, that would look like content like this, or making a podcast, or writing, whatever that looks like for you. Another idea for what radical acceptance would look like during this time is rolling with the punches as they change. So that's like restaurants, schools, grocery stores, not trying to fight what's going on, but actually just making the most of the situation. When we spend all of our energy getting mad at the different rules that are happening, or when we spend all of our energy missing out on what we don't have, we're going to be really, really sad. But if we actually take the time to accept what's happening, to accept where we are, and to start asking, okay, how can I make this situation better? If I have to have a drive-by birthday party, how can I make it extra fun? If we have to do our life differently right now, how can we make it more fun or more of an experience? Now, radical acceptance is an ongoing practice, and it definitely takes time, but the less we're going against and getting worked up and getting angry about what's happening, and the more we're sitting in it and being calm and asking how we can make the best of the situation, the more we're in a positive flow. Now, the fourth step to turning 2020 around is to recast your year. Recast your vision, reset, realign, regroup, whatever it is for you, whatever word you want. As I said before, I know we're getting to the beginning of August, which is mind-blowing, but now is the time that we can actually sit down and ask ourselves, what do I want to do with the rest of the year? Just because it didn't go how I thought it would go doesn't mean that the year is wasted, doesn't mean that the year is lost, and doesn't mean that it's okay for me to just go on autopilot for the rest of the year. There are still lessons and things to be learned and skills you can improve on that can help you refocus for the year. There was this really awesome quote that I saw on Instagram, and I shared it on my story. You probably saw it, but it's by Ebony Davis, and she said, "There's no competition. You are the only one who can play your note, but can you hold it? Can you play it clearly? Does it have resonance? Is your instrument in tune?" That is our work. Not to drown out the sound of others, but to find our own and join in the symphony of God. So in this season, during the last 5 months of 2020, yes, that's right, I said 5, what can you do? In what way could you lean in and improve yourself? What skills do you really, really want to learn? Turning 2020 around is about looking at where you are now and looking at what ways you want to improve. If you want to make the most of your year, you have to look intentionally and think creatively of what you actually want to do. Maybe a practical goal for you for the rest of this year is to start writing. Maybe you could spend 20 minutes every morning just writing what you're feeling and writing what's going on. Or maybe you want to start a habit of doing yoga. So you pick a YouTuber and you dedicate 3 to 4 mornings out of the week to follow along. Whatever it is, like, this year's not over and it's not done, and there are still people working on themselves and growing in the middle of this really crazy season. So I challenge you to reset, realign, and recast your vision for what you want 2020 to look like. If you want me to make a video on recasting your year or doing like a mid-year audit, let me know. Just comment below that you want to see that, and I would love to create that resource for you. My 5th and final step to turning 2020 around is this: where is your joy now? Ask yourself this question, understand what your answers are, what are true for you, and infuse them into your life and your daily rhythm as much as humanly possible. Understanding small ways that you can find joy can really turn 2020 around for you. When you know the things that fill your cup and actually prioritize them and put them in your schedule, that's a game changer. So maybe creating a list of things that are personalized for you. So some of the things that I enjoy, I love taking a shower and then rubbing my body with body oil. After that, like, it feels so luxurious and feels like the best thing ever. Other things that I love to do, I love to take the time to bake and make a fun recipe that I've never made before, or just sitting down for a few hours and and reading books. After I do these things, I feel so invigorated and so recharged and like ready to reset and refocus. But for everybody, it's different. So I challenge you to make a list of 3 to 4 things that you love to do and then challenge yourself to actually make the time to do them. During this season, we have to be more intentional with ways that we fill our cup up because our life isn't the same. We can't just go out for drinks with our friends and we can't just go to the parties that are normally happening. We need to make time for joy in our life. So what are things that you do in your day-to-day that actually fill your cup and give you joy? Do you love cooking? Do you love singing? Do you love dancing? What is it that you love? Be mindful of what lights you up and gives you energy, but there's still joy in 2020. You can still have goals in 2020. Just because this happened doesn't mean it's a bad year, and there's still hope for this year. I challenge you to go through each of these steps. Number 1 was mourn your loss. Number 2 was refuse to speak poorly about 2020. Number 3 is to radically accept how things are. Number 4 is to ask yourself how you can pivot, reset, and refocus. Number 5 is to intentionally seek where your joy is now and take the time to infuse it into your daily life. So those have been my 5 steps to turning 2020 around. Let me know which step is the most helpful for you, what was the most encouraging. If you like this video, make sure to check out this video right here. It also talks about how to infuse self-care into this crazy season of life. Again, I'm Sarena Hess. Thank you for watching. And if you like this video, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on my next video, and make sure to give it a thumbs up so YouTube knows that this is the good stuff. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.